What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Hot Corner Podcast. Tyler and I are back chatting through another episode. Today we are going to discuss about the Timberwolves and how playing the young guys has started to take a turn. We are making bigger strides, winning more games, looking better on defense, and not looking so old on that court. And then after that, we'll chat about Kevin Durant and breaking 30,000 points. But we're going to start with Tyler's throwback.
Dun, dun, dun. This one isn't as extreme as the last one, but it's gonna be hot. Um, do you want to take a guess? I'll give you a guess.
So he's been telling me that he had two of them in mind. So maybe the next one will be the 90s player, but dude in the 2000s, you just stated he's not like a big name guy.
Yeah. Well, he started off in the early 2000s.
Started off in the early 2000s. Do we
Yeah.
primarily use this guy on 2K?
No, I
West
don't think
Coast,
we've.
East Coast? Like
Well, he's
Western
kind of
Conference, Western Conference, Eastern Conference, primarily known for.
shooting the ball
Okay.
and played for Atlanta.
Played for Atlanta.
Yeah. It is Kyle Elliott Corver. Um, Also, I didn't know this was his one of his nicknames. Threesis,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Machine gun, that doesn't make sense. Hot sauce, kind of weird. But splashed in, push it, Kutcher. Splashed in, Kutcher.
Splashton Kutcher. Okay, I'm looking at that right now. Yes.
Yeah.
I will say
Born
this. You did throw me off. You threw me for a loop here because early 2000s Atlanta, he played for Atlanta like
in
later.
20, he played in Atlanta later,
Yeah.
but he started in the early 2000s. But
Early
I
2000s.
thought Atlanta would be like a big kind of shooter, Atlanta.
Right. And I guess I just wasn't really, man, he was solid for a handful of years.
He was insane. His shooting percentage, insane. Speaking of which, he played over 1,000 games at 1,232. It doesn't look good when you look at his career stats because he averaged 9.7 a game. But I mean, he could obviously ball up. He shot 44% from the field his whole career. From threes, it was 43%. And I mean, he was known for his three shot making ability. Um, but he got a lot of he was an all-star for that 2014-2015 season for Atlanta. I mean, he was nominated for the six man four different times. Never won it, but I mean, when he was nominated back in 2006 to 2007 in that season, it makes sense when you look at the names as to why he wasn't nominated because you had Barbosa, you had Mono Ginobili, and Jerry Stackhouse, and those guys had unbelievable seasons. So I mean that it makes sense, but just this dude, his stretch with Atlanta from 2012 to 2017, he shot 45% from threes while he attempted five and a half threes a game. I mean, to shoot 45% from three is insane. Obviously, that's all he was really known for. He didn't go to the basket. He was just he was just like the heat check guy. You know, you just throw him that ball. That video is a classic of where he's just running down the court and they throw him the ball and he does a little pump fake and the dude jumps over him and he just splashes it. And then the next one, he just goes and he hucks it up like Kobe when there's two people right on him and it just goes in. But you want to know what's funny about that is that he was wearing a mask. And I think masks change people. You look at Kyrie, you look at LeBron, those guys change when they put that mask on. You turn into someone else. It's just insane. I don't know. I don't know. but I wrote down his 3-point percentage. Um, 2009 to 2010, he was shooting 53%. From 2013 to 2014, he was shooting 47%. 2014 to 2015, 49%. Like, no matter how old, that was like in his 30s. I got to give credit to Kyle Korver because that dude, the heat check, the highlights that he has, insane. That dude was pure shooter, pure stroking it, as some may say. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'd say a couple things to add with Kyle Korver. Yes, great shooter, unbelievable shooter, actually, one of the all-time greats. He got a ton of flack though during that 2014-2015 season when he got the All-Star nod, and it's kind of like the Andrew Wiggins effect. This was Andrew Wiggins before Andrew Wiggins, where he got a lot of fan votes, and that's why everyone hated the whole fan voting because he only averaged 12 points per game, but he was shooting lights out.
yeah.
So he got the All-Star nod, which is great. I think a guy that played that well, like he was taking six threes a game and making half of them. Like that's hard to do, especially in the NBA. And it's not like he was turning the ball over a ton. It's not like he was getting the ball a ton. He was catching and shooting constantly behind the arc. He checked nomination every single year. Dude was an absolute menace. Probably could have been in the running for Clutch Player of the Year a couple times. Now that award is new in this league. I also will say one thing about Kyle Korver is when he played for Philadelphia, he had a couple good years. But that last year, he really struggled. He only shot about 40% from the field, about 35% from three, which honestly you would take nowadays. But for a dude that's only a shooter, you're probably not going to keep him. They traded him away for basically a printer to Utah. That's the story. They basically traded Kyle Korver away for a printer to go to Utah because I'm pretty sure it was like $20,000 cash consideration. Just basically get rid of the guy. So quite funny how his story has changed. He was also an ex-Bull, so gotta love him. And then yeah, he's also I did ask. He was a teammate of Jeff Teague's. He played, I think, 3 years with Jeff Teague. They went to the playoffs together, actually, and ended up losing to that um, Cleveland team against LeBron. So,
Makes sense.
so yeah, Kyle Korver. That's
He's
great.
a dog.
You can tell we grew up in the 2000s, that's for sure. I guess he's got a 90s guy next year, so or next episode, so we'll have to see Tyler getting into his bag of NBA
Ooh.
knowledge. So,
Ah,
alrighty, let's get into it. So, our first topic that we're going to discuss here today is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously, as Minnesota natives, I'm a Bulls fan, but you got to shout out the Timberwolves once in a while, and we seem to always discuss the Timberwolves no matter what. So, um, the Timberwolves, the last handful of games have been so much better to watch. It's so fun watching them now. Like Randall, I'm gonna say this right now. Julius Randle's been out for 8 games. Those have been the best 8 games I've watched. Besides the Cleveland game, it's just so much more like more aggressive. I'm not having to watch a dude like mope around. He looked, not to be offensive, but he looks stupid as he walks all the time because he just looks PO'd constantly. And their last, what was it, 12 games that we discussed? They are 9-3. Yeah, I'll take that. And I truly think Anthony Edwards is having a way better time with these young guys on the court. Big shout out to Jalen Clark coming in and playing amazing defense, very aggressive. Terrence Shannon Jr. is finally healthy and coming in and playing. Rob Dillingham still doing his thing. I think those three young pieces, and Luka Garza has been playing a lot recently too because we lost Rudy Gobert last game, and Luka actually played really well when we played OKC. Offensively, the numbers don't jump out on the board, but he was taking advantage of the smaller defender in Jalen Williams on him and was taking him piece by piece in the post. So I think the young guys, man, have something to prove, and they're doing a damn good job of doing it. I would hope, obviously, this year will be the rest of the year won't look like this. Jalen or Julius Randle will come back, and Rudy Gobert will come back. But next year, please go find a star point guard or a star small forward and play the young guys. Like, I'm kind of getting sick of McDaniels. Don't get me wrong. He does two things really well. He plays aggressive defense and he shoots the corner three well, but that is it. He has not been able to expand his offensive game, and it's really hurt his development. So please go find someone to either replace him and put him on the bench or go find a star-studded point guard to play with Anthony Edwards. And you and I chatted a little bit about this. We don't even need a scorer. But man, dude, if James Harden had this team and could facilitate and work around having to have the ball 24/7 like he does with the Clippers, I think one, he would have an amazing year, and two, our team would be relatively good.
So you're on board with it. So I wasn't just speaking out of my behind.
No, I'm on board with it because one, Conley's done. He needs to retire. Dillingham's still young and he's still fresh, but don't get me wrong, there's plays that Dillingham looks lost and you put him on an island and he is looks like a lost puppy dog. He is getting destroyed. Now, James Harden isn't a stellar defender. He's not a stellar guy that you're going to put on the back of anymore because he has lost a step. We've known this, but his playmaking's gotten even better. And we have good big men for that. We have Rudy Gobert for the pick and roll. We have Naz Reid for the pick and roll. Sorry, I was couldn't process it, but Naz, dude, Naz has looked great too. Please just bring in a better point guard and let Ant take over still on the offensive side. Julius Randle needs to leave, and it's not like he's played fine. I think he's been all right. Obviously, it's not what we asked for when we trade away Karl Anthony Towns, who's having an all-star starter season, but we got a 2-for-1. Once Dante DiVincenzo comes back, it's another shooter on the bench. We'll see what next year looks like. I think this year's chalked, but it's a bright spot for next year.
You think it's chalked already?
I think it's chalked because can we compete with OKC?
We just did.
They shot 40% from the field. Can we compete with OKC?
We just did.
No, like in for real, 7 game series, do you think we could have a chance to win?
We did that against the Nuggets.
I thought we were way better than the Nuggets last year.
Really?
I thought so. I took them in that series over the Nuggets because we were so much more aggressive last year. And we had two guys scoring at a high level. Jamal Murray was having a bad year. Jokic was still the MVP, but he was only the only person scoring in that game. They didn't have Russell Westbrook last year.
I feel like the playoff picture would look a whole lot different. I don't think that we can compete because the new guys don't have experience, but Ant brings the fire. If Ant can fix his shooting rhythm and actually start making shots more consistently, like obviously he can score. That's not an issue, but it's the crucial baskets that are really missing. And obviously Ant is the focal point of the team, but I think it all kind of depends on the intensity of the matchup. I feel like that's all that it comes down to. Because when he was like, bring your ass, fired up.
Confidence is key, don't get me wrong. We both played sports growing up. When you were confident, you played better. It's just how it was. But man, let's be realistic here. We can't beat OKC in a game set in a 7 game series. I don't even think we would beat Memphis in a 7 game series. We struggle so much in defense versus any high aggressive guard, aka Ja Morant. Even though he's not having a great year, he's still Ja Morant. Desmond Bain is having a great year. Jaren Jackson Jr. is playing better on the offensive side. Those are three guys that would cook us in a 7 game series. And that's not even saying on their defensive side. Memphis is a amazing defensive team. So that even hurts us even more because what I've noticed is when we play high stellar defenses, other than this OKC game, we have crumbled. Taking a look at that Cleveland game, we started 0 for 12. Yeah, they're a little bit unlucky, but that's not that like 5 for 12 is unlucky. 0 for 12, or no, I would say 4 for 12 or 3 for 12 is unlucky. 0 for 12, something wasn't adding up there, and I think it's because the defense was so much better than our offense that day. Even let me ask you this right now. 7 game series. We go up against the Lakers.
Oh,
It's not even guaranteed. I think it'd go game 6, but you've already saw what happens when we play Luca in the playoffs.
yeah.
I don't even think we could.
Dude, the NBA is unpredictable.
You're,
I can't function. I can't.
is it unpredictable?
Yes.
Okay, last year.
Not on the East, it's not unpredictable,
Right, but the
but
best team won the championship.
yeah,
Right? Two
yeah.
years ago, um, the best team won Denver. 3 years ago, the best team won in Milwaukee. Like, I think that's how that went. I don't even remember. Years kind of mixed together. I feel like the best teams have won. Like, we haven't had a team that was like a 6, 7, or 8 seed actually win the championship. They've made it to the finals, but they haven't won. Hell, the Miami Heat were like an 8th seed for 2 years and they made it to the finals, but they got destroyed by the Lakers and they got destroyed by Golden State. Or no, they got destroyed by what was it, Denver that year? I don't even remember.
I don't even remember. I don't know. This this league nowadays, anything can happen. Watch the Magic go when I don't know.
You're
You
the lowest offensive rated team.
rating schmating. We're sixth for defensive rating
Yeah,
in the
we're,
league.
we're not that bad at defense, but our look at our offense, it's 20th. That was always been our issue. Our offense got worse and our defense got a little bit worse because we were top 2 in defense last year and we were top 10 in offense in last year as well. But now we're top 20 and now we're number 6 in defense. So we've
Well, actually,
decreased.
on here it says that our offensive rating is 13th. So
Oh, maybe it might have been something else that we were 20th on. But
I don't
yeah,
know. I'm just
13th.
saying anything. I mean, I don't have
Oh
hopes for
no,
them
we were
going to the.
20th in points scored per game. We're
Oh yeah,
20th for that.
but but still, all I'm saying, going back to the whole not rebranding, retooling or whatever, but dude, James Harden, I can't believe you actually took those words out of my mouth. Because imagine if he did come to. I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
Pause.
I ain't opposed
Pause.
to it. Yo, James on. Um, if he did go to Minnesota, wouldn't that be just insane? Like they just got Ben Simmons. I mean, do you really need James Harden anymore?
Yes.
No, dude. What? Ben Simmons had
Ben
a pretty
Simmons'
decent.
ass.
He had a decent debut.
Oh, cool. What? 5, 5, and 5?
No,
7, 7, and 7?
no,
What? Tell me right now. Give me
better
the
than
debut.
that.
No, give me the debut stats right now.
Oh my God, dude. I am. All I'm saying is that he's not. He had a good game, but not to get off topic. Um,
No, we're getting off topic right here because you want to hear what Ben Simmons did? Seven
yeah, he
rebounds,
shot.
6 assists, 12 points, -1 plus minus, so whatever.
Okay, he shot 4 for 5 from the
No
field.
shit, he's 6'10 point guard. He doesn't shoot threes. He didn't shoot a single three. He doesn't shoot mid ranges. He shoots layups. He
Three
can
steals and a block.
he gets dunks and layups. I sure hope he shoots 80%. At least he made his
Um,
free throws this time, unlike most years.
3 steals and a block is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's what Ben Simmons was known for. And now he's not even close to what he did back in the day. He got
Whatever.
cut. He literally got cut because they didn't want to keep him on the roster. They wanted to give him the opportunity to go play for a playoff team, and for some reason, no one wanted him besides the Clippers, who didn't have a backup point guard because they got rid of Bones Highland and Terrence Mann.
You know what? You're gonna
I'm
make me
trying to hate
mad.
on him so he plays better.
Oh, yeah, he's ass. God, he sucks.
Uh,
Jeez. James Harden is booty cheeks. Anthony Edwards sucks. Victor Wembanyama is good.
ooh, reverse
Yeah.
psychology.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
for Minnesota, I will say this. Out of all of the young guys, and we've talked about this so many times, man, Jalen Clark has shown out more than all of them. Rob Dillingham is the fan favorite. Terrence Shannon had the injury, so he's finally coming back. I like Terrence Shannon the most, but Jalen Clark has actually proven that he should have quality minutes. Now, if he can refine his game to be higher volume, higher shot, or an increase in percentage in shooting the mid range and a little bit on the outside, he plays. I think he plays good to great defense because he's giving you aggressive defense. Now, he doesn't have the longest wingspan. He's not like McDaniels, who can kind of cheat himself a little bit with how long his wingspan is. And honestly, Jalen, like McDaniels, he's not 6'10". He's more like 7'1". Because I watched the game. I don't know. I think Naz Reid's about maybe 6'10", 6'11". I don't know. But he matched evenly with Naz Reid. And I'm like, okay, this dude is a small forward, power forward, and yet he's just as tall as Nas.
It's weird to see him in the four spot. I will say that. Because he doesn't seem like he would be a power forward.
No,
McDaniels is what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Honestly, dude, I think last year when it was Conley, Edwards, McDaniels, Cat, and Gobert, that's when McDaniels played the best. But now he's still playing the three when Randall's out there, and he's not playing that well. Now they moved him to the four when Randall's gone. Nas is still coming off the bench, which, oh my God, dude, once Gobert's gone, I can't wait for Nas to finally start because he
Yeah.
deserves it.
Yeah.
He is such a mismatch at the center position because not only can he score and play defense, but he has a handle.
Yeah.
He has a really good ball handle. And what I want people to actually go do after listening to us ramble about all these topics, go watch Nas Reed's highlight reel in high school. He was the main point guard for their team. He was a top 10 recruit in the nation because he could dribble, shoot, pass, dunk at the height of like 6'8", 6'9". He was unbelievable.
I just, yeah. I don't know. Bring in James Harden. Bring in
Get
James Harden, he'll be fine.
get rid of Julius Randle, get rid of Rudy Gobert, bring in James Harden.
Yep. DiVincenzo can go too. We have the young rooks coming in.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, I saw something that kind of made my day is that someone compared Dillingham to Jamal Crawford. And I was like,
I don't
damn, dude,
know if that was in a good way though.
he's shifty like him.
That yeah, they weren't describing him as like a Jamal Crawford type scorer.
No, they were saying like his handles is like Jamal Crawford. He can't score like him,
Right.
but
It would
he's
be
shifty as all living hell, dude. It's like
it,
that's him driving a dang
no.
manual out here
All right, Miss Midwestern boy, that is insane. Insane.
in the membrane.
I will
James
say
Harden.
this. If Dillingham can actually get to the Crawford scoring ability and having Dillingham come off the bench in the future as like our six man, I'd take it. I would
Oh yeah,
100% take it.
how could
Because
you not?
you're right. He doesn't play defense all that much. He's um, very high motored, not very good on defense, but his handle, he is what we describe as a street baller, basically. Like you watch his dribble package, and you're like, dude, this guy's cold. And then hits the step back after sizing it up and then misses the wide open three, and you're like, damn.
That's all our rookies.
Right.
That's all our rookies.
Yeah, but I've Jalen Clark, man, he's not selfish. He's not bringing the ball up and getting into his ball handling package and trying to out dribble the defender who's 100 times better than him. He backdoor cuts. He does the unselfish plays. He gives the ball up and he understands I'm not going to score unless Ant gets his. So let's have Ant get his, and then he'll give me the ball. There was a play. I watched the OKC game where Ant was getting doubled and he beat the double team by getting past both of them with his shifting to the right, and he met Chet basically right in front of him at the elbow, and he goes and gets a underneath bounce pass behind Chet to Jalen Clark for the up and around basket, and unfortunately Jalen Clark just lost the ball, so it went out of bounds, but that was a beautiful, beautiful backdoor cut play. That's what you need out of the young guys. That's what's going to give you more playing time, not standing at a 3 point line going, "Hey, give me the rock. That's all. Give me my ball." It's just not going to happen. So there's our tangent on the Minnesota Timberwolves. We could talk about this for hours, but you know, I think Tyler and I both agree. Now, I'm not saying go 100 all in on James Harden, but go get a superstar point guard to help Ant.
Oh yeah.
So for this next segment, we're just going to transition. We want to congratulate Kevin Durant on surpassing 30,000 points. Now, me and Tyler have grown up to watch two guys that are now top six in all NBA in scoring in LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Obviously, LeBron James is number one. Kevin Durant's probably, I think he just hit number six or number five.
Mm,
He's the bottom right now out of the people in that 30,000 plus club. But how cool is that? Because how many people get to say they've watched two top six like scoring players of all time?
I mean, LeBron was doing it before we could even walk, and we're still watching it. Like
I
that's
sure
just,
hope you could walk in '03.
have you seen me? Goo goo gaga.
um, I mean, but you're not wrong, dude. Like, we weren't even in school when LeBron got drafted. And as an 18-year-old putting up double-digit points, like unbelievable playoff appearances, and then we hated him for the longest time. We still do. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we still hate LeBron because he is the best of all time. And when you know you've made it, when you have more haters than people that like you, because a lot
Mhm.
of people hate LeBron because he's the best. Obviously, there's other reasons, but the main reason is because he is the best. So, Kevin Durant, I will say, watching him and growing up watching him play, he is the best scorer of all time.
Oh
He
God, yeah.
he can do everything in the scoring aspect
It's
at
it's
the
just
highest
insane.
level.
Like, let's see.
It does help that you're almost 7 feet tall with like a 7'3", 7'4" wingspan. Like no one can block his shot. It is unbelievable. If you're in the post with him and he puts up a fadeaway, you are screwed.
With I'm excited to see if KD can actually reach it because he's about 10,000 points away. But there's a 4 year gap because LeBron, like obviously KD started in 2007. But I mean, like I'm looking at the KD versus LeBron totals, right? So the games LeBron has played 400 more. Um, he, I mean, obviously he has a lot more, but like their shooting percentage, it's literally looking at like LeBron's little brother. Field goal percentage. KD shot 50% as well as LeBron. And then their 3 point percentages. Like KD shot 38 and then LeBron shot 35 all throughout their career. I just think like it's oh Dude, that just kind of like gets me all tingly wingly just like being able to look at this.
And he didn't play
It's
a whole
cute.
year. He blew up his Achilles. He didn't play a full year. And after
That's
blowing up his Achilles, he comes back and is an all-star, dropping 27 points per game, shooting 45% from three, 53% from the field. Dude, that is nuts. That is insane. Is Kevin Durant like obviously I just stated that yes, he is the best scorer of all time that we have ever seen. Is there anyone even close? Like LeBron had some things in his game that didn't show. Like he couldn't shoot the three right away when he was young. He relied a lot on his athleticism. He was an athletic freak. Kevin Durant in his third year was MVP two, averaging 30 points per game. He is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-time All-Star and I think, 11-time All NBA player,
Mhm.
one-time MVP. Almost, honestly, you have an argument. He is a couple of votes short from being a four-time MVP.
Oh God,
He
yeah.
won MVP two three times in 4 years.
I'm gonna say this. This might be a little biased because, like you said, we grew up watching these guys, but that like the old heads that are in now have shaped the NBA and they have changed the NBA so much. And now you look at like the new guys where like it's mostly just hucking up threes. But back then, it was like, let me just hit this post fade real quick. Let me. KD was killer from the elbow. Like that dude would just pull up and you just like it was going in no matter what you did. And that's what I like because now it's like all three focus. But watching these guys play, especially like head to head, I think was it KD when he like first came into the league and he faced LeBron, like he made LeBron smile. Like he just like drained a shot and like he was walking back and like LeBron was like, "Damn." I'm just like I don't know who else can really do that. You can make an argument saying that there's a lot of young guys that can do that, but just watching the all-time scorers like go head to head, dude, it's like a battle of gods. It's something that just gets you excited because it's like they've just changed it so much throughout like 2010 to before the bubble is basically like the prime time of basketball, is what I think, because it was scoring from everywhere, not just like worried about the 3 point.
And I think he's the last person to ever be drafted as a Seattle Supersonic. He played 1 year as a Sonic, and then they
Oh
moved to
dang.
OKC. It was either no, probably not. Obviously, they played one full year. Um, so that's I mean, if you have a Kevin Durant Supersonic jersey, go go put that in a frame. Keep that until the day you die.
Don't don't do anything. Tell your kids about it.
Yeah,
Don't let them touch it.
Vietnam flashbacks of how great this dude was.
Yeah, pulling up on a gun on your kid saying don't touch it.
Oh
Don't
Jesus.
actually do that. Don't do that.
He you know what's also crazy? He might be the first person ever to never be under 20 points per game.
That's insane.
He's 36 and he's averaging 27. He was 19 averaging 20. There's there's 3 years in here too that aren't even full years. He had 1 year where he only played 27 or 70 27 games. He had the full Achilles injury, and then 2 years ago he only played 8 games. Imagine full seasons there. He would be probably number three or number four all time in scoring.
Just his accolades alone, just like 14-time All-Star, four-time scoring champion, two-time NBA champion, 11-time All NBA, Rookie of the Year, and then the MVP, and then the two-time All-Star MVP, two-time Finals MVP, and like I mean the
Dude,
75th anniversary team. But
dude, this is a good question. So he's 11,000 points away from LeBron because I think LeBron's at
Mhm.
41,000 and Kevin Durant right now is at 30,045. If Kevin Durant played those 3 seasons fully, obviously LeBron didn't get to play a couple years because of health, but say Kevin Durant does. He gets all 3 of these years full healthy. He averages about 18 to 20,000 or 1,800 to 2,000 points a year. Dude, he's literally right behind LeBron. And I bet you for a fact if he gets 4 more years, he would beat LeBron. And then we would what have to discuss that Kevin Durant's the best player of all time? Like, what the fuck? What is going on? So we basically just watched 2 of the best players of all time succeed.
Yeah.
So